Right, is Timeless the best up-and-coming UK streetwear brand at the moment? Well, that's what we're going to answer in today's video. Today's video is sort of like a new series that I'm going to create. It's called Brand Reviews, where obviously I review a brand. All right, cool. Before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like. I don't care about subscriptions and all that good stuff, but if you can leave a like, I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, let's talk about Timeless for a sec before we get into all of the categories. All right, cool. So Timeless is actually a UK streetwear brand. It's located in Cambridge, which I rate differently because majority of streetwear brands are from like London or even from like Manny or Birmingham or something. So for a clothing brand to come out of like Cambridge, plus I live like very close to Cambridge, that's why I chose Timeless, because come on, man, you gotta represent, you gotta support, you know what I mean? So yeah, but anyway, let's get into some categories. The first category we're going to be talking about is the clothing. All right, so when it comes to Timeless's clothing, I'd probably say it's pretty clean, to be fair. Like their most popular like sort of range is the shorts and top sets. That is probably the most popular. Very clean and very eye-catching as well. I like that sort of logo with like the faded colors as well. But what I will say is it looks like they've taken inspiration out of trap style, just the way they've got the logo there and stuff, and sort of this, it's not the same font, but it's very similar. And what I like about Timeless's clothing range is it's not really that dull. Like you see a lot of clothing brands that just have like a logo here and that's it. You know what I mean? Like there's actually some sort of like, you know, creativity. But a little caveat to like Timeless's like clothing range is I do feel like they sort of like jump on trends a little bit too much. For example, like I've been following this brand for a decent amount of time, and like I've seen they do like the puffy print, which obviously Broken Planet is very renowned for. Also the crotch logo, which is like Cortez, and also like the sort of trap star sort of feel. So I feel like they sort of need to sort of like branch out and create their own stuff. But that being said, like trends are trends at the end of the day, and you know, clothing brands are going to copy trends regardless, so it's not really that big of a deal. And another thing that I do rate about like the clothing when it comes to Timeless is their socks. Like that is very weird, but just let me land the plane first. I know it's just a sock and no one's really going to see a sock, whatever, but I like the way that it's got the logo go like up the ankle. I quite like that. And also the socks are probably one of the most popular items as well. So I feel like if they focus more on like socks and stuff, they would actually probably do numbers, to be fair. All right, so to summarize Timeless's clothing range, I'd probably say it's not boring. Like they're very, you know, eye-catching pieces as well. Like I did say, it does look like they've taken like a lot of inspiration from other brands. I would like them to like have a bit more of like an identity when it comes to their sort of clothing. You know, diverse it a little bit. But with that being said, I have seen their new collection actually, and it does look like they're going in that direction where they're just sort of going into their own lane. All right, so with all that being said, what would I rate the clothing? I'd probably put it above a 7 because it's not boring. The sort of inspiration from other brands not being that unique, you know, I'd probably shave it down to below an 8. So all round, I'd probably give it a 7.4. I think that's a pretty reasonable number. All right, and now we're going to be talking about the name and the logos. All right, so the name Timeless, I can't lie, yeah, that is a serious name, yeah. Like it's very rememberable, rolls off the tongue, very nice, and obviously it's abbreviation of just the normal word timeless, but instead of like timeless, it's like TYMLUS. I would like to know like the origins of that, like why they chose to name it that Timeless and not that Timeless. There's probably like a cool sort of backstory behind that. But all round calm name, probably one of the better like clothing brand names that I've sort of come across. You know, I don't want, you know, Unit 516, like bro, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? So Timeless rolls off the tongue, easy to remember. Yeah, a very calm name. All right, and now we've got the logos. The first logo we're going to be talking about is the spell out logo. All right, so what I like about this logo is it's very readable, easy to read, but it isn't so like easy to read where it's just like, oh, here's another word, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, I rate that. But again, I will say this, and this may just be me, yeah, but it just reminds me of Trapstar. I don't know what it is, like the font is just a bit similar. I don't know in it, yeah, but you know, it's not really that good that, you know, you look at a brand and it reminds you of another brand, you know what I mean? But yeah, the spell out logo, yeah, it's fine, to be fair. All right, now we've got Timeless's other logo. It's called the star logo, I believe. Pretty simple, but it ties in with the spell out logo because I believe the spell out logo has got that star as well, so that's got that going for it. This logo is somewhat eye-catching, but at the same time, nothing crazy. They did have another logo, but I believe they've scrapped that. I'm not too sure. It's got sort of got like a face on it, but I think they've replaced that with the star logo. logo. I'm not 100% sure. But when it comes to the logos, I would have liked to see like something to do with like Timeless, like, I don't know, like a clock or something, or like a rework of a clock or whatever. But these logos are calm nonetheless. All right, so to summarize the logo and the name of the brand, I'd probably say the name, I absolutely love the name. I can't lie. Even the way it's spelled, absolutely love. The logos are up there, but I feel like it don't really attract me too much. I can't really put my finger on it, but yeah, it feels like I'm wanting more from it, if that makes sense. But as a collective, the rating that I'm going to give this, I'd probably say the name alone holds it up massively. But then sort of the logo sort of hold it down a bit. So I'm going to say a 6.9. Yeah, I think a 6.9 is relatively fair. All right, now we have my favorite category, which is the marketing. And I can't lie, when it comes to marketing, yeah, Timeless has some really interesting marketing strategies. For example, sometimes they'll release like a 69p mystery box with like a mystery box full of like Timeless clothing, which is absolutely marketing genius for multiple reasons. Reason number one, yeah, it gets people like to talk about the brand, like, yo, this brand is doing a mystery box for 69p. Also, it's a low entry like price point, so 69p, everyone and their grandmother has 69p to purchase that, you know what I mean? Also, when it comes to their socks, again, yeah, this is why I like their socks edit. Yeah, they actually did a campaign where basically you had to cut up, I believe, your Nike socks or something, and then you was sent out like a pair of socks or something. That is very unique as well. Like, yeah, I rate that. And also they did like a pop-up event in Soho where like, I believe they had money or like clothing items. One of the Timeless staff members would like run around Soho and the people had to chase him. Whoever got to the money or the product first, they actually got to keep it. Very cool and a good way to sort of like boost conversation about the brand. But yeah, like I said, them sort of campaigns are very interesting, I can't lie. But anyway, let's talk about their like social media presence. When it comes to their social media accounts, it's very polished, I can't lie. You know, it's simple, but it sort of gets like the message across, you know, we are a clothing brand, buy some clothes, you know. And I can't lie, yeah, when it comes to their content for social media as well, it's up there. It's up there, especially with some of the videos. But yeah, all round, social media is on point, I can't lie. All right, so what would I rate their marketing? Yeah, this is a hard one as well, yeah, because I'm not the sort of person to dish out 9s, even like 8s as well. I'm very reluctant on dishing out 8s, but I can't really find like a fault with their marketing. You know, a video can always be done better. A campaign could have always been done better. But as like a standard, yeah, their marketing is serious as well. So I think I'm going to give their marketing an 8.1, yeah? Because it is up there. I can't lie, like crazy. I can't lie. But maybe a bit more consistency. But that's just like a little nitpick or whatever. But yeah, marketing definitely up there. All right, moving on, we have creativity / uniqueness. I believe foundationally, Timeless is a creative brand, you know, even from like their promo campaigns, you know, social media, etc., etc. But I feel like it sometimes does lack when it comes to their, you know, creative side when it comes to the clothing. I'm not saying all of their clothing are just completely boring, because that is definitely not the case. But, you know, like I said previously, like it's sort of that they take on like trends a bit too much, and I feel like they need to sort of like get their own lane, if that makes sense. But in the same sentence, that is hard to do, because, you know, whatever you think hasn't been done has probably already been done. So I understand that, because at the end of the day, how like different can you make like a hoodie? Like, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I'd probably say that their, you know, creativity and uniqueness is definitely up there, because when I talk about, you know, creativity and uniqueness, it encompasses everything, you know, from the logo to the clothes to the name and stuff. So the logo, the name, pretty creative. The marketing strategies, definitely creative. Clothes, semi-creative. So I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to give it a 7.5. That is right down the middle, I can't lie. All right, so moving on, we have the brand's message / what they represent. All right, so this is what it says about the brand on the Timeless website. So, Timeless is a movement. We are a cult of the streets, a vision of unifying the youth. Okay. F the system. We are the next generation born of tomorrow. Black, white, and sexual, bisexual, society labeled differences, all unified by blood coursing through our veins. When you wear Timeless, you own the streets. The world sees you. I can't lie, yeah. I can't lie. I'm sorry, yeah, but that just seems a bit waffle to me. I can't lie, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to arrest them on suspicion of waffling, yeah, because I don't know what that was. I can't lie. And sexual, you know, like they're trying to encompass a lot. That wasn't really like a good message. I can't lie. yeah, when you wear Timeless, you are wearing the streets or something. I don't know. I didn't really resonate with that too much. I can't lie. The whole black, white, ansexual, bisexual society label differences, all unified by the blood coursing through our veins. Nah, that's not a bit of me, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I resonate with it, but it's just generalization, if that makes sense. All right, so what would I rate the brand's message? I can't lie, they had a good race, but they stumbled at the last hurdle. I don't know what that. I'm not going to dwell on it too much because I don't want to try like violate or project any like negative emotion or whatever. But if I'm being reserved, I'll probably give it a 6.3. You know what I mean? Because I didn't really resonate too much with that message, to be fair. But everything else calm about the brand. You know what I mean? All right, so that was a Timeless brand review. The overall rating, with everything into consideration, they actually got a score of 7.26. But to be fair, Timeless was the first brand that I actually reviewed on this channel. So the ratings might be a bit off. They were sort of like the experimental brand, if that's what you want to call it. But 7.26, that's not too bad, you know what I mean? But let me know down in the comment section below what brand you want me to review next. I would want another UK brand, maybe like a low-key American brand, but I don't want to do like a mad popular brand like Cortez, Palace Supreme, because we all know that they're above an 8. You know what I mean? Like I want like a decent brand that is like low-key, and yeah. So let me know what brand you want me to do next, and it's been your boy. Until next time, I'm out.